It's 4 p.m. right here in Lagos, Nigeria. A warm welcome to the program. I'm Anne Mwawadu. Coming up on Network Africa today. Train crash in Egypt's northern coast of Bog El Rab kills at least 2 people. Kenyan police officers significant cash reward for information leading to the capture of escaped serial killer suspect Collins Kalusha. Lost more than a dozen UN aid trucks enter Sudan's Darfur region from Chad as part of efforts to cater for those in need. We begin the program in Egypt, where a train has derailed into traffic, killing 2 people and injuring 2 others. The incident happened in the northern coast of Bog El Rab, located west of Alexandria. Well, according to a statement by authorities, the crash happened after a truck was on a rail track when they were actually meant to be closed for the transit of a passenger train. Well, train derailments and crashes are common in Egypt, where an aging railway system has also been plagued by mismanagement. But back in 2018, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi announced that some 250 billion Egyptian pounds will be needed to properly overhaul the North African country's neglected rail network. Egypt's deadliest train crash was in 2002, and that incident left more than 300 people dead. Well, let's cross over now to Kenya, where police are desperately deploying whatever means they can to apprehend a serial killer suspect who's currently on the run. That perhaps includes offering a significant cash reward to Kenyans who are to provide credible information leading to the capture of the murder suspect Collins Kalusha, who escaped from custody. On Tuesday last week, Mr. Kalusha did not break out of prison alone. Well, he escaped alongside 12 other suspects from the Girigiri police station at the capital, Nairobi. As a result of this action, 8 police officers have now been suspended and 5 have been charged to court over this escape, which police say that they were aided by insiders. Last month, police said that Mr. Kalusha had confessed to the murders of 42 women, including his wife, since 2022. The victims were aged between 18 and 30, and they were all killed and mutilated in similar ways. However, his lawyer is of the argument that he was tortured to confess to these crimes. And we have Kenyan journalist Cyrus Ombati, as always, to discuss more and the updates on this very sad incident. Hello, Cyrus. Thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me, sure.
So the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that's the DCI, is now appealing for information that would actually help rearrest Mr. Kalusha, which is what all authorities want at the moment. But they're also calling the bounty a significant cash reward without making an actual figure or putting a figure to this. Do you think that this would motivate Kenyans to aid the police on the manhunt?
Yes, you put it very clearly. They have not mentioned the figure, but we understand from insiders that it could be almost $10,000 at least. Yeah, this will influence the way Kenyans behave because most people are broke. If somebody sees him where he is, he will tip them definitely. Because in the past, we have had similar incidents where Kenyans tipped police on certain issues and people were arrested and the kind of the cash prize was paid. So we believe that this is one of the moves they are taking so that they cannot be sure of getting this suspect on the run back to custody. The problem is we don't know where he is. It could be in Nairobi, it could be out of Kenya, it could be in his home village. But we suspect he could be hiding in one of those slums in Nairobi where he lived around there. That's where he has friends, and those are the fear that he could be hiding there.
Well, let's go back to the discussion, Cyrus. With all of this playing out in the first place, he was being accused of killing 42 women, including his wife. This is someone the police has described as a psychopathic serial killer. And he was due to be charged with murder. What are you hearing as regard to his motive to killing these victims if he is found guilty? I mean, we see similarities in all the murders. They were all mutilated and killed the same way.
Well, initially, according to the police, he himself told police that when the first time when he killed his wife, they had differed over business deals which they had. He had opened some business for his wife, according to him, which the woman is saying that she blundered the business. So the business went down, and he was anchored about the whole move. So he decided to kill her, and then he dumped the body in some of the places where you saw the other bodies were found. So since then, he formed a kind of a tendency to have that passion to lure women to his house. He could buy them beer or alcohol. Then he goes to kill them in his house, because in his house, where the police found hammers, those manila papers which he was tying the victims, so that he could check them for dumping. According to the police, they believe there was a form of cultism. That's why he was being driven by cult. And then the other issue is he cited the anger, which is, you cannot explain how that is driving him to be that extent of killing most of those women who he targeted.
But now 8 police officers have been suspended from their duties. 5 of them have already been charged to court over this prison break, which police say was aided by insiders. Many wonder if they were guards on duty at the time of escape, or how this was even achieved. And what does this really say about security system in prison in Kenya?
Well, the whole thing boils down to corruption. We believe there was money which exchanged hands, and the main target were the Eritreans who were in custody. It was by mistake that now, according to what we are learning, that Mr. Kalusha was in a kind of a mix among the 12 Eritreans who escaped, so that he can also escape together with them, because he saw what would happen. These Eritreans, we believe, they bribed their way out of the jail because they had been arrested for being here illegally, and they were supposed to be taken to court then for repatriation back to their country. But then they didn't want to go back to their country, so they wanted to proceed their journey to South Africa or Middle East. So they had to bribe their way out to run away. Then the mix now, this Mr. Kalusha also joined them to escape. And they were aided there to escape because the police cell where they were being held is one of the most modern police stations. It's very difficult for you to break out unless you are allowed to live casual. They say the same way they were allowed to live casually.
We know that action has already been taken by the police, but has there been any reaction at all from the Kenyan government to such high-profile suspect?
Well, the arrest of the 8 cops, or the suspension of the 8 police officers, is one of the process of now ensuring justice in the whole process. Because 3 of them were not charged in court because they are senior, and there are the internal procedures which have to be followed before they are taken to court. 5 were taken to court, and the court said they should not be detained as requested by the prosecution, so that now they can continue being kind of investigators. They are still out of suspension.
All right, thank you very much, Cyrus Ombati, a Kenyan journalist. We'll definitely keep our eye on that story and get more updates. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Away from Kenya now, the United Nations has announced that more than a dozen aid trucks have now entered into Sudan's Darfur region, coming from Chad after 6-month border closure. This was relayed by the UN spokesperson for the Secretary General, Stefan Dujarric, who noted that supplies crossed via the Andre border crossing, in bringing much-needed humanitarian aid to those in need. The trucks are from the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, including some of the World Food Programme and the International Organization for Migration, IOM.
Moving to Sudan, I can tell you that the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is telling us that more than a dozen aid trucks, including some from the World Food Programme and International Organization for Migration, have now crossed into Darfur from Chad via the Adre border crossing. WFP says their trucks were carrying sorghum, pulses, oil, and rice that will benefit some 13,000 people who are at risk of famine in the Kerenaik area of West Darfur. For its part, IOM says the essential relief items delivered to Sudan will support more than 12,000 people in need. As we said before, the Adre crossing from Chad is the most effective and the most direct way for us to deliver humanitarian assistance to Sudan at a scale and speed required to respond to the huge hunger crisis in the country. The World Food Program tells us that trucks can cross into Darfur from Adre and then reach key distribution points in that very same day, basically in one day. In the meantime, our humanitarian colleagues continue to engage with the Sudanese authorities to facilitate additional trucks coming in the coming days and months. We will need a constant supply of humanitarian goods. It is critical to sustain that flow of food and nutrition assistance into and across Sudan, where more than a dozen areas are either at risk or in risk of famine. WFP is scaling up food assistance there and aims to support more than 8 million men, women, and children by the end of this calendar year.
The VOA's Lisa Schlein joins us now from Geneva. Thank you very much, Lisa. And these food deliveries have actually been much anticipated in the Darfur region, a country who's threatened by famine. There's been mass displacement of people in all of this. And we also know that Sudan is currently at war. What are the arrangements being made to ensure that these supplies actually get to the hands of those who really need them?
What an excellent question. I wish I had an excellent answer for that. I'm afraid that there are no ironclad guarantees or assurances that food and other desperately needed relief supplies will reach the people for whom they're intended. The conflict has been going on now for just over 16 months, and there have been a number of agreements which have been made, a number of promises that have been made, and a number of these, unfortunately, agreements and promises have been broken. So we can't be assured about that. However, I will say that there is a glimmer of hope that maybe this time things will work out better, and that's because of the peace negotiations, the U.S. mediated peace negotiations that have been going on now for almost 2 weeks here in Geneva. And even though the Sudan military did not appear in person, the Rapid Support Forces did send a delegation, but the SAF did not. But even so, because of virtual technology, actually an old technology, the telephone, the U.S. mediator says that there have been many phone conversations and many agreements have been made, and he appears to be pretty upbeat that the agreement which has been hacked out between the RSF and the SAF will hold on this occasion. One can only hope so.
All right, but the key Adre border crossing reopened after a 6-month closure due to the civil war between the Sudanese army and the RSF, and that's aside these delays. Were there any other obstacles from the UN partners that the OCHA and the WFP in getting these aids across Chad to the Darfur region?
Well, because the Adre crossing has been closed, they've been forced to go through the Teen crossing, which is a much longer route and more dangerous. And so that has proved to be a big obstacle. And with the opening of this new humanitarian corridor from Adre, they hope that that problem, if the agreement sticks, will actually take care of that problem. And also there have been, the United Nations has been forced to use other long and increasingly dangerous routes from Port Sudan in order to reach other areas in Sudan, which are, there are about 13 or 14 of them which are on the brink of famine, and so food is desperately needed there. And there are a lot of militias which are controlling these areas, and it's very difficult, dangerous somehow to reach these routes. And now another problem is that the seasonal rains are causing enormous difficulties for trucks to get through areas because Many roads are cut off because of the flooding that is going on. The trucks get stuck. So unfortunately, it's not just human problems, but nature itself, which is creating problems for the delivery of aid to people who need it.
All right. Thank you very much, VOA's Elisa Schlein. Thanks a lot for your time on Network Africa.
You're welcome.
And staying in Sudan, the country is grappling with a new cholera outbreak after heavy rainfall led to the contamination of drinking water. According to health officials, the war-stricken country has recorded more than 350 cases of cholera, and including at least 22 deaths in recent weeks. While the war between the Sudanese army and the rival Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, has taken its toll on the already under-resourced healthcare system. The health officials are also lamenting most hospitals do not even have the capacity to accept many cases. Back in 2017, an outbreak of the disease killed at least 700 people in the country in less than 2 months. Welcome back. It is still Network Africa on Channels Television. The Democratic Republic of Congo has reported more than 1,000 new Mpox cases. Well, according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, out of 18,910 Mpox cases, which were reported in 12 African countries, 17,494 were in the DRC, with 535 deaths already recorded. African health authorities are now seeking desperate needed vaccines to help fight the virus, which the World Health Organization has declared a global health emergency. Mpox belongs to the same family of viruses as smallpox, but causes milder symptoms like fever, chills, and body aches, and mostly spreads through close skin-to-skin contact. The chairman and CEO, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has commended the Nigerian diaspora for their significant contribution to the country's economy, as remittances hit $553 million in July alone. This acknowledgement was made during a strategic meeting at the NIDCOM headquarters in Abuja, which saw the attendance of Lord Mayor of Leeds, Councillor Abigail Michal Katung. Ms. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, in her remarks, applauded the diaspora community's handwork and its impact on the nation's economy. Ms. Katung, in return, expressed profound appreciation to NIDCOM for its exemplary role in showcasing the Nigerian diaspora on the global stage.
We're your embassy in Nigeria. We provide customer service, so to speak, for you, the diaspora. So we have platforms to engage with you, and we're proud of the kind of engagements we're beginning to have. A lot of Nigerians like you are coming home, identifying with home. Gone are the days where you say, oh, I'm not proud to be Nigerian. No, and we will continue to be proud of Nigeria. Nobody will celebrate us but ourselves. So we'll continue to celebrate people like you, work with you, and ensure that we bring the best out of our country. It's not just about the president or the government, about us, the people, you know. And I keep saying Nigerians at home, work with Nigerians in the diaspora, we'll build this great country of ours. I want to count on your experience and knowledge in Leeds. There are younger people here that you can also mentor, so that they know that you can achieve anything you want to achieve once you are focused. And I know it wasn't easy for you. I know it was tough, but here you are, our Lord Mayor. So welcome home, and then we hope you participate more in our activities. And we look forward to visiting you in your office when we do come to the UK. We'll be glad to travel to Leeds and meet with you.
We are there, and if there's anything you would love us to engage with, we are also your representatives. Nothing. No matter where we go, south, east, north, or west, we will always be Nigerians. We only need to open our mouth to speak, and you will know that we are Nigerians. So thank you once again for this honor. Thank you for looking after us. And thank you for never leaving our side. We're truly grateful.
Let's go back to health matters. The Lagos state government has started the second phase of its free medical outreach known as Alafia Eco across 12 designated centers spread over the 6 health districts of the state. The second phase of the program, which was flagged off at the old nursing school complex in Ikoyi Obalende LCDA, But the Special Advisor on Health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, says the exercise offers wide range of services to the people at no cost.
Residents of Obalende area of Lagos turned out in their numbers for the second phase of Alafia Eko free medical outreach at the old nursing school complex in Ikoyi Obalende Local Council Development Area. The free healthcare services under the umbrella of the state's Eco Cares program is designed to address out-of-pocket expenses, and residents are taking full advantage of the scheme for eye screening, monitoring of blood pressure, blood sugar screening, free consultation and medication, distribution of eyeglasses to those in need.
I can't read clearly, but now that I've gotten these glasses after the test, now I can read clearly and I can see very, very well.
I have a partial glaucoma, but they have given me space and some drugs for me to apply.
Senior officials from the State Ministry of Health are in Ikoyi Obalende to monitor the exercise. The Special Advisor on Health says Alafia Eko is available in 12 designated centers spread across the 6 health districts of the state.
The first phase, we did 4 units. We're talking about per district. So we were looking at 4,000 per district times 6, 24,000. And now we have 2 districts, the areas that we had not gone to in the 4 districts, and we're looking at almost the same, like 2,000 per district to get to our target. And I'm sure with the success of the first one and the success of this second one, we'll probably do another one as well.
It is also an opportunity for residents to register for the state health insurance scheme called Ilera Eco and the State Residence Registration Agency to enjoy more benefits from the state government.
When people come out here, one of the things we're doing is registering them for Ilera Eco. So we'll get more people getting onto health insurance. And then at that point also, we're screening people. Those who are absolutely unable to afford to get on Ilera Eco will get on the EcoShare scheme, which is for indigents where the state bears the cost of the insurance.
Government also appeals to residents to utilize the 329 primary healthcare centers across the state and reduce the pressure on general hospitals.
We've realized that we have a poor health-seeking behavior in Lagos State because you were asking that we have so many facilities. We have 329 primary health centers. Why are we not getting the patronage? They are overflogging the general hospitals. So Mr. Governor is doing all he can to ensure that we increase utilization.
The same exercise is also ongoing in Surulere area of the state, and the people are grateful for the support.
It's not everybody that walks on the street that is okay. These are the kind of things that we can really get the health of our people. Surulere, we are really happy with the governor.
Knowing the benefits of free healthcare services, over 700 people already enrolled for Alafia Eco in Surulere.
I've been to Jara Loka, and the turnout there has been very, very massive. The turnout here too in Surulere has also been very, very massive, and it's even beyond what we had planned for, what we had actually envisaged.
Over 24,000 residents benefited from the first phase of Alafia Eco free medical outreach, and the Lagos State government says it intends to reach an additional 12,000 people during the second phase of the exercise.
Well, we're back in Egypt, but this time to witness an initiative which aims to plant more trees along streets and public spaces as a way of conserving the environment. Shagra, which is the Arabic for plant it, as an environmental initiative that aims to plant trees along the streets and schools, public spaces, as well as balconies and roofs.
In a public school in Egypt's Dakalia Governorate, volunteers work with great passion to plant over 500 trees. This planting is part of a bigger initiative called Shagra, Arabic for Plant It, that aims to grow more trees on streets, in schools, universities, and public places.
The initiative of Shagra is a youth environmental initiative that we started on April 17, 2016. To spread the culture of planting fruitful and wood trees in schools, streets, universities, and public places. Thank God, since 2016 till now, In nearly 8 years, we have planted more than 350,000 fruitful trees in 17 governorates in Egypt and in more than 150 public schools and universities. Thank God, we're here today in Mitgam City, planting around 500 fruitful and wood trees in 4 public schools.
The initiative, started by Omar El Dabib in 2016, has managed to plant more than 350,000 fruitful trees in 17 Egyptian areas. In one of the public places where lemon, guava and apple trees were planted 6 years ago, a volunteer with the initiative, Osama El Masri, checked the growing plants with pride.
We are now present in one of the public places in which we planted fruitful trees 6 years ago, like lemon, guava, and apple trees. The trees have grown and are now producing fruit, and people started benefiting from them. One of the reasons why I joined this initiative is because these trees' ages are 25 years plus, and so every year there's production, and every year people benefit from the trees, and this is the definition of sustainability in doing good.
More than 10,000 balconies and rooftops have also been planted with vegetables, medicinal plants, and fruit trees. Planted focuses on fruitful trees which have economic value as well as societal and environmental benefits.
The economic outcome is a fruitful tree that people will use and anyone in need can eat off the tree, and it will also help the Egyptian economy as they will help lower prices of vegetables. We plant fruitful trees from one side to produce fruits and from another side to lessen carbon dioxide, produce oxygen, provide shades to lessen temperatures.
With hundreds of schools and institutions that join the program, the idea is to plant 1 million trees by 2030.
And finally, on the program today, the world's second largest diamond has been found in Botswana. The rough 2,492 carat stone was unearthed at the Karowe mine, just about 500 kilometers north of Botswana's capital. Well, the mine is operated by Canada firm Lucarda Diamond. According to Botswana's government, this is the largest diamond ever discovered in the southern African state. The previous biggest discovery in Botswana was a 1,758 carat stone found in the same mine back in 2019. But Botswana is one of the world's biggest producers of diamonds, accounting for about 20% of the global production. Well, that's a woman's best friend. And on that note, we end Network Africa for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu.